What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the EP by Chippy Nonstop and JHawk Productions. Basically, this project is called Thot Thursday, and it came out in the late summer of 2014. Now, Chippy Nonstop is pretty low-key. She doesn't have a ton of information about her catalog and the stuff that she's done. So really, this was kind of a hunt trying to figure out about this project, but it is a pretty stellar one. I definitely say this is going to get a rather rave score. I definitely feel like this is another highlight for Chippy Nonstop. And this JHawk Productions is a pretty good producer, so I definitely like some of these ones that are on here. But for the most part, Chippy Nonstop dropped like a series of projects between 2012 and 2014. There is another one after this one that I'm going to get to, but I can't really think of too many projects that she dropped after this particular project in 2014. There is at least another project that she dropped in 2021 with another producer, but I don't really know like the extent of like the projects that she put out past this particular one from late 2014. So I just question what other projects she's done and how much there really is around and out and about and stuff. I am going to have to look around for it and see what else I can find. For the most part, it has been kind of tricky trying to find some of these Chippy Nonstop projects just because she did drop a few mixtapes, but she took them down later. Like there's at least two mixtapes. There was an EP that she dropped in 2013, which I reviewed, which came out on CD. And then there was this project that seemed like, I don't know if this came out on CD, but it is at least available digitally. This is one of the few Chippy Nonstop projects that you can still regularly kind of find and such. So this is kind of the concept. I would definitely lap this up just because even though there's not a ton of information about it, this is a pretty highlighted hit. Like the most popular song on this particular album in terms of Spotify plays only got less than 6,500 hits, but I would just have to say it is pretty excellent. Like I don't know the single on this project just because there's not a ton of stuff about it, but I would have to say I suspect it was kind of Nah or Blackout, one of those two songs. It seemed like that might have been the one that got the promotion for it. But both of these are very excellent songs. This is definitely, I would have to continuously recommend to look into Chippy Nonstop and see some of these records to kind of fuck with by her, just because the concept about it, these are like this, just by the title, this being Thot Thursday, this should tell you that this is kind of like loud pack and ratchet kind of music and just kind of more rave kind of stuff as far as that kind of is concerned. Chippy's always been a pretty litty individual. She is kind of a DJ and she does do some of that night scene type stuff. So this is just a good example of just seeing her kind of in her prime doing some of this stuff and being a pretty competent musician as far as that's kind of concerned. Now, I would have to say, like, keep in mind that her projects are kind of tough to find. I do wish that we could get some mixtape websites to kind of throw these up again and get them more available, but if you look hard enough, you can find them. That's kind of the concept about it. But I just would have to say, like I said, I'm not really sure as far as what the single is on this particular album. So I'm just going to talk about these. So basically, to talk about the songs I recommend on here, I would say out of 6 songs on here, I recommend all 6. This is the easier thing to say. So I just would have to say and stuff like, talk about some of these. I'm suspecting that Nah was the single. I don't really know. I'm suspecting that Nah was the single. I'm not really for certain just because there's not really music videos around. Chippy Nonstop's even hard to find kind of on YouTube and stuff. I would have to say it seems like it would be Nah. That seems like the most kind of Nah seems like the most affable choice for like a music video ready type song. So I would have to say Nah is a pretty litty social romp and it's an enticing weekend highlight, I would say. And Chippy has some spicy charm on the song and it's pretty festive. This pretty much has one of the best beats on here. It's just a really ratchet and kind of like R and bass kind of beat that just works extremely well. This is definitely a good example of that. This feels like something, if you like beats by like DJ Mustard or something that like Juicy J or Tyga or 2 Chainz would do that sort of stuff just without like the DJ Mustard kind of bounce, where it's just kind of a, it's really, I mean, this, some of the stuff on here just really feels like circa 2013, 2014 Ratchet when things were getting more litty as far as that's kind of concerned. It's not full blown trap, but it's in a neighboring community of that. I definitely feel like it's pretty much a pretty spicy and kind of spunky kind of nightclub song, but it's not full blown like trap music that would not really like full blown trap music that would get in the layout as like things were kind of going along. But Chippy's pretty litty. I mean, that's definitely the thing about it. This is definitely a real good highlight. This is a catchy song. This is just an easy hit song. It's definitely one that I would recommend just for folks that even if you don't know who Chippy Nonstop is, if you never heard of her or something like that, and you have completely no clue, this is still one that I would say it's just like a good kind of playlist and mixtape kind of bop to kind of be like, damn, who the hell is this chica? You know, as far as that's kind of concerned. So it's just a good one. Another one like that is Blackout. Blackout kind of feels like the promo single. This is like a flashy night hopper. It's a stellar dance beat and it's an easy zone out and get crunk kind of cut. I would say this is just a good Nah and Blackout are like an excellent 1-2 punch to kind of have just right off the bat. Both these songs just hit like a ton of bricks just that quickly. These are 2 great songs to kind of have just for like a good mixtape playlist, something like that to kind of get crunk to as far as that's kind of concerned. Both of these are pretty jazzy nightclub songs that just work extremely well and it's a good concept about it. These are just nice ones. Don't Stop is kind of an affectionate kind of song. This is very much like a down chick kind of song. It's syrupy and emphatic. It's not quite as static as some of the other songs on here, like some of the nightclub, just kind of routine kind of bops for stepping out in that sort of sense. And it's just a good Baywatch bop. I would definitely say this is a pretty good one for just kind of having on here, just being a little bit more tied down and your hands full as far as that's kind of concerned. But it is just a real kind of syrupy, almost R&B like tune that works extremely well. Do you like that one? Pika is a really nice one. I do like this song. This is a jazzy kind of EDM like dance hit. I would say it's got some boppish vibes and it's social and attention grabbing. So this is definitely an electronic kind of one. This is something. Most of these are kind of more rap and ratchet kind of oriented, but I feel like this one kind of has like electronic and minor. It's Pika is not full blown EDM, but it does have like some good electronic licks on the song just to really kind of give it that electronic bite. So I just feel like it's a good one for that kind of concept. Definitely one of the better beats on the project, but that's not really saying that. That's not to say discredit, because this whole album is just chock full of good beats. The whole project is produced excellently, so that's kind of the thing. Nothing to me is another nice one. This is kind of a glitzy promo cut and frou-frou hangout gem, I would say. It's outgoing, but it's not exactly for nightclub fare wholesomely, I would say. This is kind of one where it just kind of feels like, this one kind of feels like more of like R&B, like the sort of stuff that Tyga and 2 Chainz would do and some of those type folks. This is just kind of one that's more California. I think Chippy Nonstop lived on the West Coast for a little bit, so she kind of knows about some of those kind of like YG and Tyga and DJ Mustard type bops as far as how some of those kind of went in 2014, just in that sort of concept. This Nothing to me is not like a full-blown nightclub song, but it is pretty much like a ritzy kind of song to kind of have for just like some social outings as far as that kind of goes. Just kind of being out and about or just kind of busily afoot as far as that kind of goes. Just a nice one. And then Paycheck's a pretty good one too. Paycheck is a nice one. This is a vanilla strip club track, I would say. It's got some comfy outy vibes about it, and it's just a regular kind of crunk and spicy time, I would definitely say. So this is just a good one for kind of just stock nights at like a strip club or dance club, something like that, where you're going to see dancing, twerking, that type of stuff. Just good kind of dance fare as far as that kind of goes. Just easy kind of balanced night as far as that kind of the outing sense would kind of be about it. Just really kind of comfy and kind of affable kind of time as far as that kind of goes. And this is probably one of the more vanilla and just kind of stock songs on the project. This is probably like the one that's like the most regular sounding and just kind of like factory made, but it is a good one. This is just kind of a stock EP album cut that just works extremely well and rounds out the project. So I'd have to say, yeah, me liking basically all 6 songs out of 6 on this project, I'm going to go ahead and give this EP like a 10 out of 10. It's just that bombastic, that heavy hitting, hits like a ton of bricks, just has a real excellent social score, which the social score gets a 10 out of 10 because all these songs really hit pretty well. This project has the nightclub songs, the strip club songs, the tied down songs, the just dance club songs, and just the overall kind of jazzy electronic kind of songs. This really works pretty well. This is Chippy Nonstop. I mean, every single one of her projects has been 6 songs. I do like that concept, but it does kind of leave you hungry for more, I would have to say. It's kind of the concept that you really, like, I don't necessarily know what other projects she had beyond these 4 ones that I've discovered, and I just have to question if there are more. Even if there are only 6 songs, I'd have to say these are like some good appetizers and kind of like real some good treats and goodies as far as that's kind of concerned. So these are definitely ones that you can lap up and just have a pretty, these are definitely ones that you can lap up and have a pretty ravenous and just overall exuberant kind of time as far as that kind of goes. Just some nice bite for a lot of these, how they kind of go. And I just kind of, I would definitely have to say, I mean, this is Chippy Nonstop is not someone you want to overlook. I would definitely recommend seeking out her music and seeing something about it, just because these do need to be manufactured. Like, the mixtapes are pretty excellent. I'm going to have to review the other one that I haven't reviewed yet, but these are definitely some good bops here, and they just have some good times. Worth the purchase, I would have to say. If you can get on CD, that's even better, I would have to say. But I look after it like, in terms of the future, it's kind of difficult just because it's kind of tough to find information about Chippy Nonstop. So it's not all the time that you can find like these hints and details about what she's up to. But she is a part of like the nightlife and DJ life kind of scene. So she is kind of usually doing that sort of crowd and that sort of shindig. But the last project I can think of that she's done came out in 2021. So we'll have to see about some more of these just to see what she's kind of been up to and stuff. But I do think there might be a little bit more, but there is at least one more mixtape I'm going to get to and such. But this is definitely one that I have to wholesomely recommend here.